Hello and welcome to How to Design Puzzle Boxes video 8. In this video we're going to show a couple more pieces that are just to be polishing up here, and that'll be it for this. The next video will just show you how all the components are put together, and then we'll continue from there. So in this portion here we did two different small changes. So one is with this latch portion. One, I actually did make it flush. I just changed my mind. And the other thing is that I changed it so that this piece here, the latch itself, will actually fit into the wall so that it actually holds on to something. The other thing I did is I added a pin, and this pin is going to allow for the hinge to actually move but be held in place. So let's take a look at the latch portion first on how it's designed and then kind of go from there. So first thing you'll notice with this is that the latch itself is actually just a simple groove that is put in place. It slides down on the wall, and then essentially what happens is that lip that goes around will just cover it so it can't go up. And this is just done by some simple grooves on both the wall itself and the latch. So let's take a look at the latch and see how that is designed. So here we have the latch, and you can see that essentially it has a little groove on it that's going to grab onto the wall, and essentially it is the same on both sides. So the way that that is designed is it essentially is 3/16 of a height up. It is 1/8 of an inch plus a 1/64 of an inch wide, as the wall is 1/8 of an inch, just to give it a little bit extra gap. And then it's also another 3/16 wide for the piece that needs material on the outside to create that groove. Everything else is the same dimensions height-wise and length-wise for the piece, for wall thickness, sorry. And then that's how essentially how this is made, and then I just mirrored it to the other side to reduce the design time. So that's how this is designed here. And if we take a look at the wall real quick, you'll see that the wall itself just has a simple groove that goes straight down beside the locking components. And the way that this was figured out was essentially measuring from the bottom of this here to the top of the wall, and then subtracting 3/16. So if I were to measure this here, you'd see that from here to here, it's 1 1/32, give or take. And if we look at this component here, it is 1 1/32 minus 3/16. And that allows us to have the component to match up there. Next, we're going to take a look at the hinge pin and see how that's designed. So here you can see the hinge pin itself. It's a very simple design. Essentially what I did is I measured the diameter, and it was 0.1875 or 3/16. I subtracted a 1/64 to give a little bit of a gap, and then I made it 3 1/4 of an inch length, and that's because the distance from here to here is 3 1/8 roughly inches in length. So I wanted to make sure that the material, so 3.112, I want to make sure the material would stick out or protrude enough from the side so that it still has contact throughout this whole hinge pin, or with the pin in the hinge. Another reason why I made it extra long is as if this shifted over at all, there's still enough material for it to be in full contact, so that when the hinge moves, opens and closes the lid, you'll essentially still have contact on both sides so it can properly spin. There's no potential for binding, basically. The next thing I did is I measured from the center to the face, and you'll see that essentially it's about 0.26, just a little over 0.26. So I'll actually bring this out a little bit, 0.265. And what I did for the design portion, if you look here, is I made that 3/8 of an inch diameter, but then from the center to the outside face, it is 0.26 inches. So I have about 5 thou gap. But considering that there is a little bit of movement in the hinge to the hole, that's actually not too bad. And the reason why I made this little piece is essentially it can't spin out. Also, it'll stop against this radius that we have here, and that will prevent the hinge from popping out. So that was one reason why I decided to design like that. So those are the components that I designed or changed for the last couple things for this puzzle box. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Otherwise, this is Tyler with 3D Printosaur. I hope you have a great day. Bye.